We are the Office Blokes. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Daz.
That is it.
Yes.
That's all you need to know about that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, something new and exciting that's coming up is once a month.
Tell
It's
us,
probably
Dave.
going to be. It's exciting stuff. Just wait for it. Not only are we going to be doing an Ask Us Anything, but we're going to be mixing in a little bit of Office Blokes Confidential back into it. So if you've got any problems in your personal life out there,
Is this going to be on the main channel?
on the main channel, yeah,
Right, okay.
once a month, we'll do it as a premiere.
Yeah.
We'll set a time for it. We just need to build up. We need people's either ask us anything or send in your confidential questions. What do you need help with in your personal life?
Yeah.
Because we are fully qualified.
Yeah, we're the go-to premier channel for that.
We are.
People.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're here to fix your problems
Yep.
and or laugh at them. So there you go.
Yeah, we won't make fun of you, honest.
But we will, to begin with, we'll be prioritising channel members and patrons. So if you're desperate to get us to answer your question or fix your life problems, then £1.50 on Patreon.
How would they get hold of us to send the...
Email us, DM Mike on Patreon. Everyone just flood Patreon with questions.
That's fine.
Right. Anyway, Casually Explained Cycling.
We've not done this channel yet, have we?
No, and I don't know
I
what
think so.
cycling is. So I'm looking forward to learning.
Yeah, right.
Do we need to know anything before we watch it? We're going straight in.
I love cyclists.
We all love cyclists, don't we?
They taste great.
They don't. Anyway, let's do it. Casually Explained Cycling.
Just as I think I am. Cycling is a beautiful sport. It's one man on his mechanical machine going as fast as possible on the open roads, with nothing backing him up except his willpower. 50 personnel and a dozen teammates who are there to hard carry right until the end so he can win. But road racing and Grand Tour riding isn't the topic for today, because we're here to talk about cycling, which isn't the same thing. We're here to talk about what happens when you, an everyday citizen of the sidewalk, decides to buy a bike, and it's one of three things. You become a commuter, you become a cyclist, or you sell it on Craigslist after a month and see if something else works. Regardless of which camp you fall into, the first step of buying a new bike is always the same, which is to gain at least 50 pounds, because the more obese you are when you buy a new bike, the more upvotes you'll get when you take a picture with it. So once you've got some mad Reddit karma, what you might notice in the real world is that while cyclists don't consider themselves commuters, most commuters do consider themselves cyclists. And while most pedestrians and drivers think they're all the same as well, it's really not the case. Simply put, commuters ride bicycles as a means to an end, for going to the grocery store and back again, or to get them to and from work each day. This contrasts starkly with the cyclist.
I'm going to point some out here. I didn't want to pause it so quickly when he's getting into it. I have more respect for the commuter on the bike than I do the guy who's dressed in his lycra thinking he's in the fucking Tour de France.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, people that are commuting to and from work do it means to an end, doesn't it? You know.
And you know who they are. They've got the saddlebags because they've got they might be on a sport bike, but they've still got the saddlebags with the packing stuff in, or the rucksack on the back.
Yeah.
And they're commuters. They're just getting a little bit of fitness to it. And I don't know what, I give them wide berth when I'm taking past them, and all that kind of stuff. And I respect them on the road. If some knobhead's on a bike full in lycra, I'm like, mate, go to the track.
Yeah.
Don't be doing this on a road, especially down the lanes where you can only just about get one car down there, and they want 6 meters gap for you to go past.
Most of them certainly don't suit lycra.
No.
Whatever happens.
So that's like you said, gain 50 pounds, and then you're allowed to start squeezing, start shaving your legs, because that's the thing that's going to speed you up, not losing a bit of weight.
When I first moved back to the UK, I bought a bike. I went to Alford's over the road here and bought a bike, and I cycled it home. I never used it since.
I've got a bike, but I live sort of semi-rural. It's literally, if I go across one road, I can go for miles and never see a car.
Yeah.
There's no roads, and that's that's fun.
Yeah.
That's a bit of an adventure where you just stop for a picnic and go to a pub or whatever. Forget the roads.
The funniest one I seen was a guy in lycra, full on cycling, and a guy who's working for Deliveroo ride past him, overtake him. He was on one of them battery bikes.
Yeah.
Went straight past him. He's got a big green bag on his back, Deliveroo on it, and all that.
Funny, have that aerodynamic helmet on.
Just started, he did.
Like
He was one of them. Yeah, exactly. Started laughing.
Wow.
Again, or to get them to and from work each day. This contrasts starkly with the cyclist who doesn't go to and from work anymore because he quit his job to have more time on the bike, living solely off the college fund for his kids he'll never have after his wife divorced him. The commuter is someone someone who always lives in fear, and every day he walks to the bike rack thinking to himself, oh man, I hope my bicycle hasn't been stolen again. Whereas despite not owning a lock to save weight, the cyclist does not fear his bike will be stolen, because that would mean the thief would have to wait until he got off the bike first, which hasn't happened for years. Unlike the commuter, the cyclist does not fear vehicles, as he has come to terms with his own mortality. That if his life were to end after a middle-aged mother in an SUV T-bones his Cervelo while he's running a red light on the way to the start line of his local Cat 3 crit, so be it. A life of safety, that is to say, the life of a commuter, requires an ultimate sacrifice. And that sacrifice is speed. A sacrifice that no cyclist would ever make, instead risking his own collarbones and supple skin to the harsh reality of the pavement. In fact, there's only one thing that a true cyclist fears, and that is the fear of nature itself. More specifically, winds over 10 kilometers an hour coming from the front and or sideward direction. Accordingly, the first dictum of cycling is clear. Aero is everything. In fact, the cyclist will and must do everything in his wallet to ensure that he and his bicycle are as light and aerodynamic as possible. And that means the cyclist must abide by the following checklist. Bicycle, exactly 6.8 kilograms as per UCI regulations. The cyclist has not ridden in any UCI sanctioned events, but has met several people who have visited Europe. Protective gear. While cycling is certainly low impact on your knees, it's not low impact on your skull. Hence why cyclists need to have this. A tiny brain, which they use to avoid traffic that will kill them instantly.
I love this.
It's great, isn't it?
This is brilliant. It's probably one of the best videos we've watched, right?
For a while, yeah.
Brilliant. Tiny brain.
Instantly under any form of contact. Legs, shaved. Arms, shaved. Face, beard. Body, T-Rex. Clothing, white lycra to exert dominance over the peloton with your massive bulge, black lycra on recovery rides to arouse subtle intrigue. All other rides must be performed in light wash cutoff jeans. Saddlebag, absolutely not. A saddlebag is not aero. Just get your domestique, aka anyone else on the group ride, to carry your extra shit. Power meter, one to measure your bike and one to measure the power level of other cyclists. Now, one of the most important parts of being on a bike is being on Strava, which tracks your rides and lets you compete with your friends. And while this is all well and good, a true cyclist, of course, doesn't have any friends, using Strava only to compare his wattages to real professionals and to see when Puck Moonin is within Tinder radius of a cafe and a bike rack.
Wait a minute, I think I'm into cycling now.
Let's just see when Puck...
Yeah, fair play.
She was the girl who said transition, right? She used to be a guy.
I don't care. I drank some Bud Light the other week, so
see how quick he changed.
Oh dear.
Moonin is within Tinder radius of a cafe and a bike rack. Now, if you're not a cyclist, at this point you might be thinking, oh my god, my husband recently bought a bike off Craigslist, but I thought we were a good couple. I just want to have a life together, to have kids together. Is he just going to be away all the time as I raise the children by myself? Their only memory of their father being the weekend he came home to teach them to ride a bike without training wheels? And no, you're getting way ahead of yourself, because once again, a cyclist would never have kids in the first place, as pregnant women are not aero. And while becoming a cyclist...
It definitely is, like, it's a midlife crisis thing, isn't it, for a lot of men. I'm not saying for everyone, but the pleasure riders that go out every Sunday wearing lycra with all the, you know, all the...
It's the ones that come in the pub, or the, you know, like if it's a Sunday morning, I'm in the cafe, you know, they come in with the like clippity fucking shoes on, like, I'm like, mate, fuck off somewhere else. Go fucking, you know, put your bike on the side of the Grass Virgin, make your own coffee.
I mean, I'm guessing a lot of them see it as like a social thing as well, don't they?
Yeah.
And something that they can do to try and get a bit fitter, but it's just
That's
not
what pubs are
look.
for, mate.
I know, yeah.
It's buying the little sports car, it's fishing, it's like whatever everyone else does when the kids are just at that point where they don't need you anymore.
What are you saying, Dave?
Yeah.
Different for you. I mean, like an MX-5 or something like that. That's what I mean.
Right.
But I see it as that. And I'm sure there's a community, and I'm sure there's nice people and everything, but you don't all have to have the same sponsors on your shirts.
Yeah. A lot of people do that though. Reach 40s, 50s, and then do stuff like that, or you know, get a motorbike again. Like you
start a band again. Now the kids have grown up and don't need you. You start playing in a band again. There's lots of people do something.
Yeah.
I don't know when you got to talk about people all with the same sponsors and they're all out on the bikes. I mean, I look at when I go to the football got the football quite a lot, as you know, and I see people with like football shirts on.
Yeah.
But I see some people and they've got like the full kit on, like shorts, socks, shin pads, full kit or something. I'm like, you open a fucking Get game or something. You know what I mean?
That's going too far. That
It
if you go to a football match, if it's a kid, that's fine.
Kids
shorts,
can wear
socks,
like,
full kit, absolutely. But when you get to a certain age, I mean, you put your shirt on, fine. But
the only thing I wear at the football match is my undies.
Don't wear them.
Sometimes they're optional. No, I wear like the colour, so I wear like blue.
Yeah.
Don't know, but I don't wear a football kit or a shirt or anything like that, or anything with a crest on it. Don't know with that. Sometimes I've bought a tracksuit top. When it's cold and all sort of thing, and put that. And that's I bought from the city store.
Do you not wear a Stone Island jacket and
get the badge in? I leave that to the kids now. The kids do. They're all Stone. Everyone's Stone Island at the game.
This is something we can all aspire to achieve. It is important to point out that if you're still young, don't try to rush it. Most true cyclists are in fact well into their 40s or even 50s. And you might be thinking, wait, isn't that well past my physical prime? And yes, it certainly is. But being a cyclist isn't about athletic ability. Being a cyclist is about being at an age where you can quit your dental practice and still have the money to fly to Alpe d'Huez with your lightweight climbing bike so you can take a helicopter to the top and only do the descents. Leave the Tour de France and Olympic track cycling to the kids, who ride their bike purely as a means of self-suffering, hoping they may one day get to keep one of the $15,000 custom bikes their sponsors force them to ride. Alas, they will not, because those bikes have a weight limit of about 270 pounds, and you wouldn't be a real cyclist if you didn't take up every ounce. Unfortunately, while the sport of tour riding is still tainted by the drug scandal of Lance Armstrong and competitors are monitored more closely than ever before, such is not the case for the cyclist, who lives a life of freedom, ordering as many over-the-counter steroids from Egypt as he pleases, writing it off as a business expense, and doping his blood until it's indistinguishable from his Aunt Jemima energy gel. Because unlike his peers, the cyclist is a risk-taker, a visionary, an achiever, and knows that he must do whatever it takes to finish middle of the pack at the annual charity 60 miler. Now, if you're looking to truly immerse yourself in cycling...
Is that just an ad now?
Oh, did he come back on? Yeah, I think he said
that's genius.
That's brilliant, that, isn't it?
Love it.
Yeah,
that's
really good.
It's new to us, that channel, but that's really funny.
Yeah, really clever script, without a doubt.
It's interesting how much it transcends countries, isn't it? Because America seems to have the same thing. Australia's definitely got it with all the Lycra cyclists. It's just weird that it just pops up everywhere at the same time.
Thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
I get so many near me. As soon as the sun comes out, there's just hundreds of them.
Yeah, it's sort of like South Manchester further down. It's you get a lot, don't you? Get a lot going around Dunham and places like that.
Yeah, well, I try and that's a route I take to work, to and from work. But now what I've done, I've started going down the motorway. I've gone longer, just down the motorway, so I don't have to experience them.
Yeah,
because they are a nuisance.
Yeah,
I had one the other day in the middle lane. Trying to get over to Surround, I'm like, mate, go on the pavement and fucking cross out the traffic light, you bellend. Yeah.
The most annoying one's Shaftesbury Avenue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where
they've got the cycle
there
lane.
is no bigger cycle lane in the country.
It's as big as the road, the cycle lane.
It's an extra road, isn't it?
Yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah. And then they still ride on the bit with the cars.
I know. I give him no room, and then when I see him coming up behind the lights, I get right next to the curb. I'm like, go on, and then they go round me on the outside, and I'm like, nah, you're not getting back in now. I'm like jockeying, I'm like, and they're in the middle of the road looking at me going, what you doing? I'm like, you started it. Bad.
Yeah,
they're a nuisance.
They are. They really are.
But he summed it up perfectly. That was brilliant. I absolutely love that.
Yeah,
it's the sponsorship thing is the thing that bothers me a little bit.
You buy them with that on, don't you? They're not your sponsor.
I know it's not, but it's made to look like you've got sponsors.
But who has a cycling team that they follow? Do you know what I mean? That you go out and buy their I don't even know what you call them.
Jerseys.
Yeah, they
it's like just a team kit, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, but why would you think? I get like people into Formula One saying like, I might follow Mercedes or Ferrari or whatever it may be. But if you're in like, if you're out on your bike and you're thinking, I really like Ineos, you're like, mate, you're bigger, whatever than I think you are. I'd have zero time for anyone with that kind of chat about sport. It's not even. I mean, it is a sport. It's one of my mates won a silver medal at the Olympics. He's a proper cyclist. But he goes to the track to race. You don't see him up and down the streets.
Yeah.
He goes to the track and does it. But it's...
Maybe they just all really want to have massive camel toes. That's why they do it.
It's not camel toe, it's budgie smuggling.
I know, but like...
It's like
It's that tight. I think they're making camel toes out of budgies.
They probably have to tuck to keep the ball sack from razor blading off the seat.
If there's one consolation to take away from it, allegedly it's severely affecting men's sperm levels sitting on those tiny little seats.
Yeah, because no one wants to shag them.
Yeah, so those guys aren't breeding, so it's fine.
Yeah.
You gotta have a woman to breed with.
That's true.
Anyway, and then stupid shoes they wear do me nothing. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Let us know if you enjoyed that channel, because I thought it was quite good. Dan.
Yeah,
More of them.
definitely want to see more.
Yeah, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers. Guys.